I got to ask you, John, when you were watching the game yesterday, because we've talked about this before.
Oh, yeah.
Despite everything, my best interest, I mean, the Jets game where they beat, I forgot who they beat, but they won the last game of the season, which cost them Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
I still found myself, there was like a play at the end of the game where I think they got a turnover and then they scored. And I found myself like excited.
Instinctively, you do. You have to, you've cheered for the team your whole life. You can't cheer against them.
Yeah, it's like a muscle that you just can't let go of.
After all of the losing and how pathetic they've looked, and we'll get into it as we move along today, exactly how pathetic they've been, I found myself being angry, and this is the God's honest truth. I found myself in the second half being angry at Mitch Trubisky and Mike Tomlin. I found myself looking at Mitch Trubisky, and I didn't think there was any other quarterback worse than what I've seen from Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. And I watched Mitch Trubisky last night, and I'm like, I can't believe this guy is an NFL quarterback. I can't believe this guy. He was a number 2 overall pick in the draft, and the Bears traded up to get him. I mean, they spent a lot of draft capital to go get that guy, and he was awful last night. And Mike Tomlin made 1, 2, 3 just really head-scratching moves in the second half, including a play call on 4th down and going for it on 4th and short from inside the 10 where kicking a field goal would have made it a 1-score game. This is a long-winded way of saying, no, I'm at this point in the season with only a month of games left, I found myself rooting against the Patriots last night because I know what's at the end of the rainbow. And what's at the end of the rainbow is what this team desperately needs, which is a kid that can be a franchise quarterback that you can build around. And even though, however tenuously it is, they're still in line to get that guy. That number 1 pick is now pretty much out of reach with 4 games left.
Yeah, so you had the discipline in the wherewithal and the big picture mentality to sit there and not even just root for the uniform.
I was stunned at the first half last night. I was shocked that Pittsburgh showed up and laid a massive egg like that, because Pittsburgh's offense, it takes them 7 minutes to go 40 yards on one drive. I mean, they are as in slow motion as slow motion gets. That defense is supposed to show up. That defense is supposed to be good, and they weren't in the first half.
No, they were terrible in the first half. And everyone just kept going down, missing plays, going down. It was really something else.
The Patriots offense looked like an ordinary, fully functional NFL offense for one half.
For one half, yeah.
Yes.
For one half.
I have the numbers here.
They decided
the numbers
not
are
in the second half.
No. The numbers in the second half, and that includes the play calling by Bill O'Brien, who played scared in the second half because he didn't want to risk the kid making mistakes. You know, there's a clear line of demarcation between the second and third quarters of the play calling and the numbers. But for that first half, but Zappi almost threw for 200 yards in the first half.
Well, I mean, he aired it out. He aired it out a little bit in the first drive.
It was almost like Bill O'Brien discovered that they could throw the ball more than 3 yards in the air.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's like, he threw that bomb and it connected. It's like, wow,
Juju Smith-Schuster.
They allow this?
Yes,
we don't have to run our offense like it's 1948.
37 yards in the air. That is a season high. That early pass to Juju. They
hadn't completed a pass that went more than 30 yards in the air. They were. I think Reese tweeted it last night.
Yes,
they were 0 for 18 on passes that traveled more than 30 yards in the air this year.
That's by 10 yards, the longest air pass of the season for the Patriots. That throw to Juju, who had to make a good catch, and give him credit. I forgot how motivated he was going to be going back to Pittsburgh. He actually looked like a fully functional NFL wide receiver last night.
Well, Ryan, I saw you put a tweet out that said you can't wait to take phone calls this morning from people saying,
not even necessarily on
Marvin
this
Harrison
show.
Jr.
Just, you know what? I'm predicting the next week there's going to be a lot of people going, maybe we got something with this Zappi kid.
Oh, Jesus.
They will fall in love with him all over again.
They didn't watch the second half if that was the case. They turned it off at halftime.
No, Zappi's not. I mean,
of course not.
No, I know you know that. But the funny thing is that I guess I'm taking it this. I do listen to Felger and Maz, but I know I'm not around 2 to 6, constantly listening to the radio. But apparently Felger has a take of like he doesn't want the team to tank. Like he would prefer the team wins. Like in you can't play for a draft pick.
I have a little I have a little bit of that too, in that I feel like it's just bad karma to tank, especially in the NFL. It's not the way business is done.
Oh, I don't think that you should tank, but I do think that it's better if you don't win. I mean, at a certain point, especially when you don't have any young nucleus that, like, if they were building towards something right now instead of just starting over,
yes,
then I would agree. Like, I think it might. I hate keep bringing them up. I know when people hate when I do this, but I think it might be beneficial for the Jets to like win a couple of these games coming into to the end of the season, just because they have a young nucleus.
Right, a lot of these guys are still going to be around.
Right, like a lot of them
two,
are still going to be around, and so I don't think it's. And what's the difference if they get the 6th pick or the 10th pick? Like, I mean, just
they're going to screw it up anyway. Doesn't matter.
Well, Joe Douglas can draft, not quarterbacks, but he can draft.
As of right now, they have the 6th overall selection.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
if it's the 6th or the 10th or the 5th, I don't really care. But I mean, the Patriots, we've discussed this. They don't have anyone that's gonna. I mean, they don't have many players that are still gonna be around. But anyway,
fewer than 5.
This guy calls in. I did think this is funny by Felger. This guy calls in and he's like, obviously, like once he's courting the favor of Felger, and so he's like, I hate all these fans that want the team to tank. Like, what kind of fan are you? Which is just the lamest call. Like, what kind of fan are you? Get out of here. What kind of fan are you? What kind of fan are you? Wanting this team to take, you gotta want them to win. The young kids on this team need to know how to win. Well, there's nothing. There's nobody. There's very few. There's probably a handful, 5. If a handful is as many fingers as you have,
yeah,
there's probably 5 guys on this team that might be a part of this team. 5 years from now.
That's what. And more to your point, that's what the Patriots need to be doing now. They need to identify over the last month which players stay, which 5 guys stay, and which 45 go.
Which is more valuable than winning games, but
yes,
nonetheless, for this particular team. And nonetheless, but then the guy says all this, and then Felger goes like, "Oh yeah, I don't feel that way anymore." He's like, "I'd like him to lose." And then so it's just like the poor guy was calling to court the favor of Felger, like he really wanted Felger to like him. And then Felger was like, "No, I don't feel that way anymore. So you're on an island. You're all alone. I can't back you up there." Because I guess he's even. I guess if that was his opinion, he's even changed his opinion. All right, Johnny boy, it's a very exciting day as the Patriots have won, and they're still got the number 2 pick in the draft.
They do, and we'll run down the Patriots highlights such as they are afterwards, and then a little later this hour we will discuss the Bruins, who really did not play well for periods of time.
And again,
last night at home against Buffalo, a team they should have beaten.
And again, I was on Twitter last night. I saw Ryan Johnston was very involved in that game, as he is the host of the hockey show on Saturday.
Had both TVs working hard last night.
Yep. You have 2 TVs?
Oh, we have 2 TVs in the living room. Got to.
And you can focus on 2 things at once?
So the one on the secondary TV, we got the big screen and then a smaller one. The one on the secondary TV, generally, I'm not paying as close of attention to, just kind of keeping up. But actually, hockey and football works out really well
because one's got constant action.
You don't need to get the commentary on the football game. So big screen Bruins last night. I got Jack and Brick going in the audio, and I can just watch the football game without sound. And when I hear Jack's voice ramp up, take a look at the big screen, see what's going on.
Smart man.
There you go. That's probably the way to do it.